Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zelke, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Naples Pride changes after last-minute court ruling and pressure from DeSantis. In a dramatic turn, just one day before Naples' 8th annual Pride Fest on Saturday, a federal appeals court forced a major change for the weekend's programming. A scheduled outdoor drag performance, previously greenlit by a federal judge, was ordered indoors after the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit issued a last-minute decision late Friday. The panel stated that an earlier injunction allowing the City of Naples to enforce restrictions to limit drag performances to adults only and require them to be held indoors. The drag show was moved to the Norris Center near Cambier Park. The city maintains that its decision was about safety, not content, and the court's majority agreed. However, one judge dissented, arguing that the decision violates First Amendment rights. The festival still offered live music, family programming, and vendors in Cambier Park. Naples Pride Board member Calhan Soldavini affirmed, quote, "Today is all about preparations, and we're really excited for this year's Naples Pride Fest because no matter how loud fear or the noise gets, the heart of the event hasn't changed since we started in 2017. And it's still about love, visibility, joy, and showing up for one another." Despite legal hurdles and opposition, Naples Pride Fest continued through Sunday, celebrating LGBTQ plus resilience in the face of ongoing political pressure. Well, I'm glad that, they were able to go through this and just, have a celebration. It really sucks at the 11th hour to have an injunction and just kind of like foul up plans like that. Yeah. But, we're resilient. Our community's resilient. I'm so happy to see Naples on the rise of LGBTQ plus. Mm-hmm. We have a small little chorus out there too. So we've always been kind of checking in with them too. And so in solidarity, we're hoping that maybe we can, get over there and, work with them a little bit too, because their voices really need to be heard. Yeah. And, starting in 2017, with Pride during the Trump era at that point too. So
he won.
Yeah. So it shows the resilience. It's like they pushed through that, and you know what? They're just going to keep pushing and growing. So
from the beginning, they've been fighting tooth and nail. Like so many people would have quit by now, right. Folks. Have been like, you know what? Let's go help Stonewall, right? Let's go help the West Palm. Let's go help someone that's near us. And instead, they were like, you know what? I got a finger for you. Guess which one?
Right.
They are the voices of resilience. I give it up to everybody from Naples Pride. William Haas, the ex-chair of the Bears of South Florida, sits at this table all the time. And what they had to fight for, when people pulled out their money, they were like, screw you. Miss Bouvier was like, what? I'm going to start singing songs for money online to get money for Naples Pride. Mm-hmm. They raised so much money to make this happen. They didn't stop them. Yeah, come in with a court injunction the day before. We don't give an F. We're still going to have what Pride means. We're still going to have the full weekend of joy and resilience, and they brought it.
Right.
And, last minute my ass, because nothing happens in city government that fast.
No. On Friday night.
On a Friday night, we know government employees, they work their hours and they're out, but it was very, intentional about what they did. And it's sad that they allocate resources and time to stuff like this. We know who lives in Naples, our Medicare fraud recipient of the years. Our
Rick
Senator
Scott's
Rick
up there.
Scott.
Hi, Rick Scott.
Yeah, he lives in Naples, so he probably had something to do with it. But it's just very sad.
And then in alignment with this story, this is one of the things that's happening as a result of this administration's behavior and laws and what all the things they're trying to do, is that prides are springing up in smaller places, even like more rural places.
Yeah,
people, claiming their own empowerment and being proud in smaller spaces. But kudos to them for really. But we get tired of being resilient after a while. I've been resilient for decades. decades, bitch.
That's why we have to inspire the younger LGBTQ plus,
Yeah.
because, we've been, somebody like me has been carrying the load for, 25, 30 years now at this point. So, yeah, you got to sit there and talk with young people and explain to them these type of things and how these grassroots prides get started and how they have to keep going. And we're seeing them, like you said, pop up all over Florida.
the
We were
country,
just up in Treasure Coast, of course.
Oakland Park had one the other day.
Oakland Park itself. So you know what?
I'm hearing about ones at places I've never even heard of.
And it was very family friendly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is they have these pride events, and all this is going on in Florida where they're trying to curtail them or slow them. But what they're really hurting is the economy as well, because the money that comes into those cities for prides. I mean, Florida's already seeing that from the lack of Canadians that are coming from this last season.
Huge.
I mean,
And the
huge
cruise line
amount
industry?
of money impact that has made on our state, and they're still pushing to stop things happening in communities. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's going to be karma for them. They're not going to have the money they think they had.
Yeah. Well, Naples Pride, we love you.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll see you in 2026 for sure. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.